This is Art Carmichael with Facebook Live for the Market Square Farmers Market, and we're here today to talk to Mr. Whitey Hitchcock. He is what a lot of people know as the Mushroom Man. Whitey, how you doing today?
Doing good. Got fresh chicken in the woods.
All right, let's take a look at this chicken in the woods here. That's some good stuff. Now you were just telling a story about this chicken of the woods, about how you were following it. Tell me what that means.
That means I found it on a tree before, dead tree, and the conventional wisdom is they'll fruit every 2 years on that source until the food's used up. Sometimes they'll go the next year, but it's on a different part of the log, kind of like another place on the dinner table. So I've been watching it. I've been watching it for 2 years as I walked by it. And I saw it the size of a little golf ball.
About how big? Tell me how big.
It's on my blog. I put it on my blog, The Fungi Forager.
What's your blog address?
TheFungiForager.com.
Wait a minute, is that? That's it back there?
It is right here.
All right, let's get a good look at it. There you go.
And the people that work like a fishing guide, I'm a mushroom guide.
I
take people out.
Oh, cool.
But around at home, I go around same routes all the time.
All right.
So it was just a white mass, but it's in the exact same place the chicken had been 2 years before. I said, and it had some little bumps on it. It's probably a chicken. I took a picture. Came back 2 days later. Sure enough, it's developing. Took another picture. Then on the fourth day, I took a picture and harvested it. Because people really don't know how fast do the chickens grow. If I see it, do I need to leave it to grow one more day? There's a point if you leave them to grow, you're just getting a tougher chicken. So I like my little tender pullets. Yeah, I don't want one of big roasting hens.
Where you got to cook it forever to get it to where you want it, right?
Yeah, well, they get a little dry. Dry,
oh, okay.
Pithy.
Yeah.
But these are very tender, and they'll split like this. And then if you take a knife and run down the seam, get little like shoestring potatoes, drop them in real hot oil, 1 minute, take them out, put garlic salt on them. Bonnie, are they good?
Delicious.
All right.
Yeah, I fixed them for her one day on a chicken she found.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. Now you also have some chanterelles down here, you said?
Beautiful chanterelles this time of year. This is kind of peak season for them.
Okay.
When you find them, you ought to find them in good bunches. Nice and firm. Just like last year, we had a lot of rain the first 2 weeks of July, and then it dried for 2 weeks. So by 1st of August, it was like a desert in the woods. But that 1 week between when it stops raining and it starts to get real dry, that's when you have a lot of mushroom fruiting. Bonnie here found a bunch of wild oyster mushrooms yesterday. Not surprised. I have found 6 different chicken in the woods in 2 weeks. They're going to disappear until cool weather, say September-ish.
Okay.
But that's just the way they are. But I also have ramp powder. These are powdered ramp leaves.
All right.
From back in the spring, and it's a way to extend the season, and they use them as a garnish.
Okay. Use them just as a garnish, or are they also a flavoring item?
Not too much of flavoring, because what happens is ramps decrease in pungency when they're cooked.
Okay.
It's why in a restaurant they don't give you raw ramps. They give you cooked ramps. Why would they go to more trouble if the raw ones are better? It's because they're stronger, and you would wreck a lot of first dates and blind dates if you were serving raw ramps. So they mellow out. But if you've got a fine grind, then the mellowing is going to disappear when it's mixed with other herbs that are more robust and can take the cooking. So you put this on, and the heat of a finished dish hits those fine particles, and the aroma comes up. And remember, the 4 tastes: sweet, sour, bitter, and then you're going to add umami in there, but you have to have the aroma to get flavor.
Okay.
Food doesn't taste the same when you got a cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's why we use it like that. And I've got a coarse grind, which is the stems.
Okay.
And then the fine grind, which is the leaves.
All right. And so that's your cooking lesson for today is the when you're using ram powder, you don't put it in while you're cooking. You put it on when you're done.
It's a finishing garnish.
All right.
As opposed to this coarse grind, which is a garniture, which you might put in about a minute or so before the finishing of the cooking.
Okay.
But Bruce Bogart's up at the Sunsphere uses these as a finish on some of his dishes, and he's one of the best cooks in Knoxville.
Yeah. That's Bruce from Primo, by the way.
From Primo at the Sunsphere.
That's right. All right.
He's my man. He loves chanterelles.
Well, and you said something earlier that intrigued me. You said when the mushroom runs out of food. So what is it that mushrooms use for food?
Two ways. This mushroom is mycorrhizal. It grows in symbiosis with tree roots. Other words, the microscopic fungal threads wrap around the tree roots.
Okay.
That's like spreading the moisture drawing capability for the trees.
Oh, cool.
They benefit by getting water from the mushroom.
Okay.
What do the mushrooms get? They get the glucose and other nutrients being produced by the trees.
Ah, cool. All right.
Okay? So in the fall, as the tree leaves start to stop their photosynthesis, what you start seeing more of are decomposers. Those are mushrooms growing on dead standing trees, dead logs, and they will feed and feed all summer, and then as you get into the fall, you start seeing many more of them.
Okay.
The oysters maybe 4 times a year. Others maybe once a year. So they're decomposers. You see them at different times of year.
Okay.
And if they're cellulose eaters, that's their food. Others are lignin feeders. So if you eat the lignin, what's left is white rock.
Okay.
If you eat the cellulose, what's left is dark, so it's called brown rock.
All right. And so these guys here, the chicken of the woods, those are...
One's a decomposer. This one is a decomposer, grows on a dead hardwood log.
Okay.
Now, this one is actually a root rotter. This is Latiparus, the genus, Cincinnatus. This is Latiparus sulphureus because it's got the sulfur colored underneath.
There you go. All right, and these are white underneath, yeah.
These are white underneath, and that's how you tell the difference.
All right.
This grows in a line, this grows in a rosette.
Okay.
But you can't tell the difference when you eat them.
All right, so there's no real difference in flavor then? Yeah?
No, but this is a root rotter.
Okay. This
grows on rotten wood already.
All right. Now, there's another thing I question. Your website is Fungi Forager, right? And so you don't actually grow the mushrooms. You just go out and find them. Is that correct?
I do not grow them, but I have a shiitake log on my porch. My cousin grows some, and then I just reunited with another cousin who's got a farm just like the ones that are represented here at the market. Outside of Raleigh, North Carolina, Blue Sky Farms.
All right.
And he's got covered greenhouse operation with big time cultivation of shiitakes and lion's mane and all those much like Mossy Creek mushrooms.
All right. Well, tell me about foraging though, because that's what you do. So I want to hear a little bit more about that.
I go out in the woods and for the I forage other things in season. Ramps in the spring. We did stinging nettles. A lot of people like them. Nutritional values. Pawpaws in the fall. Hickory nuts. I love persimmon hickory nut pie. But you better crack your own nuts because you'll crack a tooth if they're not clean. And I don't trust anybody else with my teeth.
Yeah.
But I kind of know after 20 years about, in this part of the country, where to find chanterelles based on topography. I'm an old forester, so I look at the tree composition, and that tells me a little bit about the average moisture, the drainage pattern. I visit on sandstone, or is it on limestone that's going to really affect what species you find.
All
So I
right.
kind of look for chanterelles. I look for beech and white oak growing together right on the sides of drains. Sometimes they'll be along the creek bank, but when you do that, you get a lot of dirt underneath. But there are two kinds of chanterelles. These all look the same, but one that has a smooth back, and it's Cantharellus latericius. That's what it is. There are others that have ridges on the back. I just gave you one, Bonnie. You got, oh yeah. Here's one. See the ridges on this one?
There you go.
This is the golden chanterelle, Cantharellus siberius. Siberius just means good eating.
All right. That's
So-
a good name for him.
So the two different species, we treat them the same in the mycophagy, mycophagy meaning mushroom eating. In that mushroom eating business, you do, yeah.
All right. And then one last thing, you don't just forage for mushrooms, you also take people out to forage for mushrooms as well?
People who want to learn, I'll go to your place if you have property, you're seeing mushrooms, I'll come and we can schedule it, or we can set up tentative and say, okay, they're up, can we do it in the next couple of days?
Okay.
And I'll go to their property. Otherwise, I take people out, and usually up into the mountains, and find mushrooms. We collect a few edibles and identify others, and hopefully we'll see some of the lookalikes. So I can say, first glance, they look alike. And somebody who's very, very new down here at the market one day came up with a mushroom yay big and said, Whitey, look at this big chanterelle I got. And she's dead serious.
Mm-hmm.
But you turn it over, it's bright orange, it's got gills, not ridges, not flat gills. It stay in your hand, smells different. Nibble and put it out. It was a jack-o'-lantern which only grows on wood. Mm-hmm. These grow mycorrhizal. But sometimes that wood is a buried root, and you don't see the rest of the mushroom around on the back side of the tree. And that has happened. And they brought it to me, and I said, well, I'd either throw it away or go ahead and call somebody to take it to the emergency room.
All right. So sometimes you got to watch what you do when you're foraging, which is why you go with somebody who knows what they're talking about.
And there's other things. You always have to cook the wild mushrooms. You say, why not? We eat the ones in the grocery store. One thing, they're grown in a sterile environment. That's why button mushrooms don't have much flavor. That's why people don't like them. A lot of people don't like them. But these have had insects crawling on them, flies, and you don't know what kind of fibers they have. You need to break it down, so you always cook them. That's one thing you do. Second is you don't eat a mushroom unless you absolutely know what mushroom it is, because there's no one indicator of whether a mushroom's poisonous or not. And there are some deadly ones here that will destroy your liver.
All right.
In fact, I showed Bonnie here, went out with me last week, and that's one we found, destroying an angel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that good advice, and if you want good mushrooms, you come down here and talk to Whitey, and you'll get some beautiful mushrooms from a man who knows what he's talking about. Make sure that way you know you're getting the good stuff.
You do.
All right.
And my friends at Mossy Creek are the ones who are mushroom growers here. We have different species. We try to help each other, and it works out well.
All right.
Depending on what your preference is.
All right. Well, thank you, Whitey. You have a good rest of your day, and when y'all get here, you make sure you come and see Mr. Whitey, because he's got some good stuff.
Here, I want to give you a parting gift.
All right.
This is mushroom jerky.
Oh,
Made,
pull some of that out and put it in front of the camera there.
Made from a mushroom called Fistulina hepatica, known as ox tongue or the beefsteak fungus.
All right.
And because it's got a grain like beefsteak. Try it, see if you like it.
All right. Let's see how this goes.
Bonnie, you want to try?
That is delicious. Holy cow.
Kind of tastes mostly like Dale seasoning, doesn't it?
It does. No, actually, it tastes. It's got a very sort of like a smoky beef flavor to it.
Yeah,
It is delicious.
Very good. Use a mandolin, slice it real thin,
All right.
marinate it overnight, dry it for about 4 or 5 hours. Because that is the one mushroom I know that you can eat raw from the standpoint that it's not going to hurt you. And it's got a lemony, acidic kind of flavor. So,
and that comes through a little bit on the back end. Yeah. Very good. All right.
Thanks, Art.
Thank you, Whitey. Have a good day.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to walk down here to another farmer who I know grows mushrooms, but I'm not sure they're growing them this time of year. But we're going to talk to him about what else they have. You'll probably recognize them if you come to the farmer's market or not. Excuse me. Mr. Isaac, you got a minute?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to walk over here where I can talk to Mr. Isaac. Like I said, you probably recognize this guy. If you see him, you can see him right there. All right, how you doing?
Doing fine. Yourself, sir?
All right, this is Isaac Colvin of Colvin Family Farms. Isaac, what do you got for sale today?
We got a lot of tomatoes, kale, lettuce, a whole pile of the tomato tomatoes, and
All
we
right.
have.
Let me stop him and show him how beautiful that kale is. That is some good looking stuff right there. It is. All right, and then you saying you got tomatoes too?
Yes, sir.
Because tomatoes are new in season right now,
Yes,
right?
sir.
All right, let's walk over to the tomato aisle over here. Check out what we got. First of all, let me give you these little guys here. There might be just a few of them laying out here. That's some good stuff there. All right, so you want to tell me about these? What do we got over here?
We got a Sakurai red cherry and then a Sun Gold yellow. The Sun Gold's won the tomato tasting contest here for I believe 3 years in a row. It's a very good tomato.
All right, and what's the flavor on that?
It's good and sweet, low in acid.
All right, so that's something